welcome back, everybody, to the Black Crypt Podcast / YouTube.
Ooh, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, now we're
Official.
on video mode. Hi, video. You did bet you didn't think I looked this sexy.
I know, right?
But I don't.
And I'll forgive you for killing the radio star.
Oh, video. Dude.
Oh, well, you know, podcasts are a dying medium, so I've heard.
I've heard that too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
YouTube's where the money's at.
Yep.
All right, well, welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Tucker. I'm joined here with Alex.
Of course.
And Shannon.
Absolutely.
And this is, like we said, the Black Crypt Podcast. In case you didn't catch our first episode, we're back in YouTube form. Bart, remember Alf? He's back in YouTube form. So we're going to cover a very interesting topic today, one that has pretty much permeated movies, books, television, all sorts of different mediums for, God, hundreds of years now, pretty much. It's one of those things that holds a place in your heart that I feel is like more like on a primal level.
Yeah.
Than some other things. Like, you know, some people are scared of like clowns or heights or spiders or whatever. But for some reason, this topic today just really seems to get people's shivers going.
Shiver me timbers.
So, boys, some dolls sit quietly on shelves, collect dust, while others, they watch. They move. They curse you. They cause you misfortune and bad luck throughout your life. They refuse to leave you. We've all seen the movie where they lock the haunted doll in a box and burn it and then throw it off a bridge tied to a cinder block, and then it just shows back up in the house again.
Yep.
So while some of that is fictionalized, welcome to this episode. It's called Whispers in Porcelain, the show that unboxes the mysteries behind the world's most unnerving playthings.
Yes.
All right, so let's get real for a second here. So I'm just going to put a scenario in your guys' heads, and you tell me what you think, okay?
Okay.
You and the missus.
Let me stop you here. Is this scenario going to start with we're all driving to our new family's home, a brand new start?
No. Here, I was going to say something slightly more temporary. Yeah, but
because that's in every single
Let him
horror
cook.
movie. It
Let him
has to
cook.
start with, family is moving to said house.
And it has to be an aerial shot
Oh,
from
yes.
above
Oh, yeah.
of the car, like
while
weaving.
the credits are.
Weaving through these back
Yeah.
roads.
No. So okay. So well, sure. Let's start the scenario off there. You're driving down this country road. You and the missus are trying to get a nice weekend getaway, and so you've rented a little Airbnb, a little cute little cottage out in the woods, right? It's hosted by a lovely little old woman. She's probably a widower, you know, or
Wouldn't
something.
have it any other way.
And she shows you to your room, and when you walk in, all of the walls, the cubbies, the bed, just antique porcelain dolls just sitting there with dead black eyes like dog's eyes just staring at you. Are you going to request a different room?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's something inherently unsettling about the little glass eyes, the
there is.
fake doll. Because I think it's that uncanny valley thing where you have a face that looks like a human,
Right.
but there's no life behind. It's like looking at Britney Spears' Instagram.
Absolutely.
Right.
With two knives in each hand.
Side note: I did see somebody posted online they took a picture of themselves and with light that was hitting their eyes, they removed that reflection and it caused that uncanny valley effect.
Oh, okay.
Just that alone.
Yeah.
So it's very minute details like that cause that.
There's just something about it, because I honestly can attest to this. I don't really have too many phobias, but there's just something about porcelain dolls that just does it. And I can't really put my finger exactly on why. And I can honestly, we might talk about it later on this episode, but I unintentionally watched Child's Play as a young boy. I caught it on TV somewhere, and there's just something about, I know Chucky's not necessarily a porcelain doll, but that's where the phobia kind of like started to grow for me. And then it slowly, I remember being at my great grandma's house, and she had this just cache of just all kinds of porcelain dolls just posted up in the corner of her room, and it was terrifying. That was the most terrifying room in her house, and I hated even walking past in the hallway because it was hard not to just be like, yeah. I mean, I know I'm not the only one.
And then you're sitting on the shitter and out in the hallway, you just hear.
yeah. And even though that's definitely like the big bad you'd want to go up against more than anybody else, because you could just punt that thing, but there's still just this. There's just something very unsettling about it, and it's hard to put into words.
I mean, how are you going to poop if it's just sitting there rattling about in the hallway?
Oh, shit, sorry. Nobody was in here. And that's the thing, too, though, is like, as human beings, we can talk a big game. We can say, oh, no, dolls aren't scary. All you got to do is kick it or whatever. But are you going to do that?
Right.
Like, you see a little fucking doll running up in the hallway.
Right.
Are your first thought going to be like, well, I'll just kick it? No, you're going to be like, and you're going to run away.
Because I will attest to this. In dreams I've had where I've been scared, it's like I am rooted in place.
In place, yeah.
And I imagine if something very jarring like that, breaks my perception in reality, it's going to cause that.
Flight, or freeze.
Well, we can sit here and talk about it all night, but let's actually get into it proper here. So tonight we're going to dive into the online underworld of haunted dolls, where spirits are for sale, stories are currency, and belief is optional.
Yes.
So I guess that's a good place to go. Let's get started, haunted dolls. All right, so this is normally something, guys, we kind of reserve for the end of an episode, but just because of the subject matter, I want to kind of jump into it right away. I think all three of us pretty much are skeptics by nature. I think that we have some belief in the paranormal, or at least want to believe in some aspects of the paranormal. We want to experience something, but we do tend towards the skeptic side. We're going to talk about eBay. We're going to talk about different online, shopping possibilities where you can come across your own haunted doll, and some of the possible dangers if that's something you believe in. Do you believe that there are, I will say, not just relegated to dolls, objects out there that within the object itself holds some kind of memory or spirit or demon or what have you? Is that even a possibility before we get started?
I feel like there's got to be some cursed object, something like that. I feel like an object that was maybe used in a manner that just has a lot of negative energy used with it just constantly for very malicious purposes could potentially have something like that. Now, I'm not going to jump right off the bat and just say, oh yeah, this one particular thing is just haunted as all get out because it, like a guillotine or something like that. It's like, oh, this guillotine's haunted. It's like cut a bunch of different heads or something like that. Maybe something that was ritualistically used might have something to it, but I'm not expecting, let's say a gun that was used in war to just all of a sudden decide to start just shooting for no reason.
Right.
Because it's murdered a bunch of people. I feel like there has to be some paranormal bit that has to happen with it, and it be involved in a ton of instances to cause some sort of echo throughout the ages or something like that. And I find those to be very few and far between. I'm not going to just believe any little thing is like, oh, this girl really loved this doll and she died in a really terrible thing, and now all of a sudden this spirit's with this doll.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a part of me that believes that maybe some kind of item that would be attached to somebody that passed away, whether that be in some kind of traumatic fashion or just in, whatever, ties themselves to that object, so that there is a reason for it to be that way, or a reason for that object to be quote unquote haunted, whatever you want to call it. But I also feel like it's been sensationalized to the point where if there was a case of it actually might being even slightly true, it's so oversaturated to this point that it honestly just sways me back in the opposite direction, where I'm just like, maybe I believed a little bit, but now there's so much of it to the point where I'm just like, all right, this is all bullshit and hokum, that type of thing. And it's hard not to be that way.
And Shannon, real quick, I'm going to go back to your example of a firearm, say a rifle or something, what you've never heard. I mean, you may have heard of a cursed or a haunted rifle or something like that, but we've never heard of a rifle picking itself up and shooting someone or whatever. And maybe there is, some part of some famous haunting story out there in which that is the case, but not that I've heard of. But I also think that dolls in particular play a very, very special role. I mean, some dolls are very loved by the children that own them.
Yes.
It becomes a friend to them, and this can persist for years. And then I think there is some aspect to that whole, what we were talking about earlier, at that uncanny valley thing. Dolls are represented as lifelike human beings.
Yeah.
And I think that we as humans are more likely to project our thoughts, our feelings, our secrets as children onto an object that looks like us than we will just some random flashlight or whatever.
Right.
And a rifle, rifles to soldiers are very important on the battlefield. They become an extension of them. But at the same time, if that gun was to jam on the battlefield or be disabled, that soldier is going to throw that rifle to the ground and pick up the next available gun and probably not feel too badly about it either way.
Right.
A kid leaves a doll on the bus and it's gone forever, they'll be devastated.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's something to
emotion tied in within the object itself.
Well, let me say this. So if I were to look at it versus the rifle versus the doll, let me give it this third example. So let's take a witch doctor, for instance, like a ceremonial dagger to do some sort of sacrifice on a chicken or goat or something like that. I can feel that might have a little more of a spiritual significance or maybe some bad juju attached to it than a gun that was used in a murder or something like that. Granted, yes, that's very traumatic, but I don't see it having like as much of a hold as something, because it's like this was used for a very spiritual purpose repetitively, and
a weapon,
surely something's
a weapon
to
like
it.
a knife or a rifle, a gun, whatever. It's more of a tool.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't really hold that emotional attachment like a doll.
And I feel like it depends on the
might,
use and the sentiment and that sort of thing that would potentially carry something over.
Yeah.
Well, so there are historical origins for the theory of haunted dolls, or at least they have set a precedent for that being a possibility. In ancient Egypt, dolls were used as spiritual guardians. They were created in the image of a god or demigod or something like that.
Idols,
effigies, things like that, and placed in households to protect the family. Voodoo traditions. Everybody's heard of a voodoo doll. Everybody's seen some image of a person sticking straight pins into a voodoo doll, trying to cause someone harm. But in the Victorian era, Victorian people, if they had lost a child, they would create these sometimes life-size dolls, which I think is part of the backstory of Robert the Doll. Now, he wasn't created in an image of a dead child, but I think, anyway, they dressed them in the dead child's clothes. They would make the doll look like the dead child. They would sometimes use their hair. I mean, and so talk about a recipe for a haunted doll.
Exactly. I mean, if not then when, right?
Yeah, and it was used more so for like the grieving process to help them get through.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on and start talking a little bit about our online marketplace, which is really, I think, kind of the purpose of this episode, and where you're going to see the most haunted dolls.
Yeah, get those quotation marks up there.
Click buy now, and you might just invite the unknown into your home. So buying things online, we all do it. And whether or not you hate Jeff Bezos and you hate the Amazon corporation, I guarantee you still have an Amazon account and you still use it.
Yep.
And no place is more legendary for buying your quote unquote haunted objects than the OG online auction place, eBay.
Yeah.
So the internet's become a digital seance circle, basically. So sellers, they make up. Well, okay, I'm gonna say make up. They
embellish.
They tell the tales of these haunted dolls, and I gotta say, doing research for a podcast is hard. That's why we always seem really unprepared, because we are. And so buyers, you're really always rolling the dice, right? Between, am I buying a real supernatural haunted object, or is this a scam? Spoiler alert. It's a scam. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% true. I'm not saying that it can't happen. But realistically, when it comes to haunted dolls, I think that you're more apt to find one like sitting in the window of like a local antique store or something like that. And you come across it and you're like, oh, I forgot Sally's birthday present. Oh, she'll love this little dolly. And, and then it like grows fangs and murders everybody. But where does it come from? Let's forget about haunted dolls specifically for a second. Let's just talk about haunted objects in general.
Okay.
Online.
Yeah.
What constitutes a haunted object, whether it be a doll, a mystery box, like a Dybbuk box or something like that? Where do they come from? And more importantly, these stories that people are attaching to these objects on eBay or Amazon, wherever it may be, where did they become such phenomenal researchers like we are not on this podcast? Where does this information come from?
What's this, and what's the standard? Where's the baseline here that constitutes that? And who says what the baseline is, for that matter? Like, where do you set that? What
boggles my mind with it really is these stories always have a very specific and entrancing, tale behind them. Yeah. And it always starts off, I bought this doll from an old man in a broken down El Camino on the corner or whatever, and he warned me, but I just had to have it.
Sale that I happened across, and they warned me not to buy it, but here we are.
By the time you get to the end of the story, they have told you where the doll originated from and why it's haunted and what has happened to the previous owners that have had the doll.
Right.
And I challenge any one of our listeners, any one of our viewers, go to a Goodwill and buy any random doll off the shelf and track its ownership past you.
Right.
You can't. It is impossible. And that is always my first clue that a story is made up.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's so embellished beyond the point of like, what? Like you're reading like a full novel on this doll, like where it's been, how many owners it's been passed down from, what the history of it was, like who the actual spirit is that's, haunting this doll, and all this, backstory that goes along with it. And I'm going to be honest, if you were falling for that, if you're believing that, then you deserve to get scammed.
All I'm saying is, what's stopping me from
absolutely nothing
going down
absolutely nothing
to my parents' basement where
my sister
on
a doll that's
my
been
sister
there for
has
20
some
years.
dolls in boxes and just that are rather rough now that it's been like 20 some years, and just being like, oh man, well I got this at
Genevieve.
I found Genevieve here. And then people are gonna eat that shit up.
Oh yeah,
they are.
There's a demographic of people that
and that's why I asked,
latch onto it, and
it's why I asked, where's the baseline?
That's why there's so many on eBay. If it wasn't sought after, it wouldn't be out there,
Yeah, and the second thing, so first thing to look out for, viewers, if you are interested in going out and buying a haunted object on eBay or wherever, first thing to look for, over specific story. You cannot track useless items past you. Mm-hmm. And I mean maybe the person you bought it from, maybe. The second thing is specifically, does it look creepy? Because if it specifically looks creepy, it was probably made to look creepy, so you would think it's a haunted doll. Right. And I am going to, at this point, reference Annabelle. Annabelle in the movies looks like a haunted-ass doll.
For sure.
Annabelle in real life, as you probably know, is just a Raggedy Ann doll. It's not scary at all. Like, you could throw it on a kid's bed, and it would just look like any other stuffed animal.
Right.
Robert the doll does look kind of creepy. I gotta say,
Robert being honest.
It is.
If we're being honest, Robert the doll, he does look a little bit creepy. Yeah. He's in Florida. I don't know why I'm doing that accent, but
suddenly he's in New York or Manhattan.
So anyways, I says to Robert the doll, it says, "Why are you looking so fucking creepy?" Huh?
Hey. Like, there's a market for it. Like, there's people watching this and believing it to the point where obviously it worked the first time, and then if that worked, I can do it. I can throw this together. I bought a $100 box off the dark web, or I bought a Dybbuk box, or I bought a haunted doll. Like, there's a market for it, man. It's sad that it exists, but it does exist.
Can I just say, with the Dybbuk box, didn't the guy that is it the one that Zach Bagans.
Yes, it's now in his museum. Yeah.
And he eventually fessed up, and then he was just like, "Oh, I just said that. Whatever." But it could be.
But it could be.
That was the best part. Was he ended it with, "It could be."
Wait.
It's fun. So if you've never had the opportunity to go to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas, I've been once, and go, because you know who does not care whether it's haunted or not? Zach fucking Bagans.
Yeah, because
he gives no shits, dude. He will put it in there, and every room you go into has like Zach Bagans like audio in the background, but it's like a monologue from Ghost Adventures. He's like, inside you is the big box right now, and it's like super fucking haunted, dude, and it's like kind of scary to be honest. And I'm just like,
shit, that's scary.
Please tell me there like a speaker just like comes down from the ceiling, but it has an Affliction T-shirt logo on the side of it.
it's just
That
Zach
would be
Bagans.
perfect.
He just walks behind you the whole tour.
Yeah,
And,
just that's what he does. Is day to day is just walking behind you in an Affliction T-shirt, like telling you all this.
So Shannon, I know we should keep moving on. I know that you've done some the vast majority of the research for this episode. Can you give us a couple examples of real life people that have purchased or sold haunted dolls or any stories like that?
So real quick, and I'll try to be brief with this. So there,
Please.
For the love of God, for the listeners' sake.
yes, for the listeners'
Guys,
sake.
just turn it off now.
Yeah, just fast forward about 5 minutes.
Anyways.
You're not going to miss anything, I promise.
What I did dig up was a bunch of people that were ordering things on eBay, because apparently eBay is the place to get these things.
It is.
And a majority of them, it was just like this embellished story behind every single purchase. And this was prevalent throughout a majority of the videos that I watched. It was a very embellished story, and then just like some average looking doll, and just they said it's like, oh, well, I feel something about this. There was like no definitive anything you could really take away from the video, like, oh my god, that doll actually jumped and did a backflip onto the stool over there. Like nothing like that ever happened.
I think we should, in real time, tell the listeners, hold on a second, like, you can literally do this right now yourself. Go to eBay, type in haunted doll, and this is what's going to come up. And here's Gerald the doll.
Gerald the doll.
Here's this big backstory about why Gerald's haunted, what happened to Gerald, and why you do, but you don't want to buy him.
I'm just saying I could probably go to ChatGPT right now and ask it, hey, write me up a quick story about a haunted doll, and it will just bam, and there's my description on eBay, and we're good to go.
Gerald the doll.
But anyway, so like I started to see like a lot of similarities there, where it was just like, oh, it was just the same rehashed thing, and everything just seemed kind of like fluffed and gaudy on YouTube about all of this. Yes, there's a community behind it. It seems quite weird in my opinion, but one thing I did notice, and I don't even know if we can really say this on the show, but I did notice, I checked some of their names and was like doing a quick search on them, and I found that they had like Instagram accounts, things like that, where they were doing other fluff stuff, and it just seemed to be like their whole bit. They weren't really like narrowing down like, hey, this is the very specific reason that I'm doing this content. It was just kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall with the majority of these things just to get like views and stuff, and this just so happened to be their weird hobby. But I will say this much, that a Alex Matsuo, something like that. Oh yes, yes. She at least asked questions and went through like, if you're gonna buy one, like, look into this sort of stuff. Like, she actually had a 30-minute video going through that, and I respected that video out of all of them, where she actually broke stuff down, and I was like, holy shit, that's actually great. Not just saying like, oh my gosh, because there was one video I watched where she pulled the doll out of the box, and then some like dust particles came out while she was pulling out of the box on camera, and my wife's like, oh my gosh, look at these orbs, and I'm like, here we go again with the freaking orbs.
Orbeez.
And I'm just like, okay, they're just really hard selling this. They're just wanting the views. So it feels like a majority of this is just, as we were talking about in the beginning, where it's like it's too easy to fabricate this. Where's the baseline? What are you doing with that? But that's what I did learn. I'm going to leave it at that.
And that is, as far as like an influencer or people that
part of it,
make money as a social media influencer or online presence, is you really have to diversify your portfolio.
Right.
If you're only posting on TikTok, you're
might only going to get that demographic.
And not
Exactly.
to be a dick,
yeah.
but
you
at
can
least
be.
a quarter of them
Oh,
had an OF.
Spicy.
spicy doll.
Spicy.
Oh my goodness.
Spicy.
Shannon's
$100.
bank account has never been lower.
You were right.
So we've been talking about where you can buy these things and some of the things to look out for. eBay obviously is the big one. It is the world's hub for haunted dolls. It is the easiest place to post and sell your own stuff. However, interesting note, if you do go looking on eBay, all of those haunted dolls now have to be flagged as entertainment purposes only, which I think a lot of things fall into that category. I'm not whatever about anybody's faith or religion or anything like that, but to me, it's like religion. It's up to you to prove it, not up to me to disprove it, and that's kind of what they're counting on. If you can't disprove it, then what I'm saying is true. Or you have no reason to lie.
And having that entertainment purposes only is kind of like a safe flag for the item itself. And it's not to insult anybody's religion,
I
beliefs, or
imagine
anything
they've
like
gotten
that. So
enough complaints and like things
Yeah.
people like calling in or sending emails, whatever, to eBay directly about, hey, I purchased this item on this day. It wasn't haunted. It didn't fall under these guidelines that they promised me that it was. And so I feel like entitled to a refund, or I need to remove this seller because all of their thing, like, I guarantee there's so much of that to the point where, like, you know what? From now on, if you're selling X, Y, and Z, it needs to be marked under entertainment purposes only.
Right.
For that fact, because they don't want to deal with it anymore.
I'm
sure.
just mad that I bought this haunted doll and I was expecting like plates to go flying in my kitchen. And I've yet to have a plate fly in the kitchen.
Well,
Right.
Gerald will do that. He's
Gerald.
He's baking. Give him time. He's working.
You expect the haunting just to ramp. Have you
Immediately
never seen a movie?
Right.
You have to like misplace a hammer first and be like, where'd my hammer go?
my
And
wallet at?
Etsy, obviously, Etsy is a big independent online seller platform, independent shops, independent websites, things like that. There's entire websites that are haunted doll boutiques. You have TikTok and YouTube for the influencer people who are using those platforms
Right.
to try and make sales or at least get their image or their brand out there so that you will make purchases. All right. Well, okay. So I feel like this entire episode so far, we've been very incredulous when it comes to the possibility of haunted dolls. And like I said at the beginning, we are skeptics, but at the same time, we do have some belief in the paranormal and supernatural, if you will, and not just the show. Go watch it. Love you guys. But first, so let's just get this out of the way. Let's go middle of the road. Let's go not downplaying nor believing. What is the allure of a haunted doll specifically? Why do people purchase them?
Well, for one, there's a lot of people that like to collect older antique things. And a lot of dolls are, at least the haunted ones, are older looking. So you got Robert the doll, for instance. That would be considered a antique doll. Very decrepit looking, older style, something that you can't get right now. I mean, how often are you going to see, are you guys familiar with Living Dead dolls?
Yes.
So how often are you going to say, oh yeah, I've got this haunted Living Dead doll? And it's like, yeah, there's
Dead girl.
there's like 50 of them.
Well, and that is what I was talking about earlier with the buyer beware part, is because so many of these haunted dolls that you see on eBay or wherever, they are just those like Living Dead dolls or whatever they are, or they're some porcelain doll that they've taken some crackly white paint to, or and white
that old aesthetic
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, it's like a finish. Like I use those for some of the
I
masks
genuinely
that I
think that a lot of it comes down to like having a painting in your house. It's a talking piece. Somebody comes over, oh, come check out this this thing I just got. You're like, oh, that's creepy. Yeah, you like that? Like, yeah, that actually the backstory is XYZ. I got this at a estate sale, and the owner didn't really want to part with it just because of all the bad intentions and the bad auras and all that stuff that comes along with it. But I finally got them, down to a good price, and It's mine now.
Hold up. Whenever you tell guests that come over about this, do you just hit this little red button and then a speaker comes down and then Zach Bagans starts?
Yeah. I mean,
tail?
I'm pretty sure he's on Fiverr. You can hire him to come like talk, like come over for like your house parties and things like that.
I guarantee it. Shannon, at the end of this episode, if it exists, I want you to please just post a screenshot of it up at the end. I guarantee you, Zach Bagans has a Cameo account.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, he's got
Absolutely.
I
I think we should
wager anything.
maybe start pulling our money together at some point. Maybe get a cameo for the Black Crypt.
So you're talking about collectors, and this goes back. I don't know if you guys remember a show that was on. It might have been like Discovery or something called Oddities.
Oh,
It was about a couple that owned an oddities shop where they sold like fetuses and jars and skeletons, and the shop was busy. People came in and buy stuff, and they pay really good money for these kinds of things. To me, these haunted dolls are almost like a budget-friendly version of that.
Absolutely.
Not many people can walk in and drop $1,200 on a haunted object.
Yeah.
And again, we segue into not only collectors, but then just paranormal enthusiasts themselves. They're going to want a piece of that. Not to mention people that want to just... do you guys remember... long while ago, I sent you guys this. It was a doll that just was horrifying looking, and it was a... we're going to have to bring this up on screen.
Have you ever wanted someone to take care of? Someone who needs lots of cuddling and affection? Well, that someone is Little Miss No Name. She's the doll who needs more loving care than any doll you've ever had. Look, she has a tear on her cheek. Little Miss No Name is sad because she doesn't have a pretty dress. She doesn't have any shoes, but she does have big brown eyes. You'll find Little Miss No Name standing in the snowstorm box at your toy store. Take her home with you today.
Poor little Miss No Name, on her cheek there's a tear. She's a sad little nobody, 'cause there's nobody near. So won't somebody do what someone should do, and take home little Miss No Name? Won't someone, won't you?
Yeah, that's just straight fucked up. It seems like a fake like
it does
commercial
like satire, like it does in some way, shape, or form, and almost you don't want to believe it, but then you go back and you look, and it looks pretty legit. I mean,
it's a real thing. We found eBay listings for like the real original doll and all that. Yeah, I don't even.
It's just still like there's a group of people that sat around a table in a room pitching this idea, have like the actual copy or whatever, the doll, the promo, the first one of it, and they're just like, yeah,
I think
this will work.
I kind of wonder because it's like a homeless doll.
It
is the whole thing.
And
all
so
this is missing is like a silver cup to go
and
along
so
with it. Like,
alms for the pool. And I kind of wonder, like 1965 is when this doll was released. I kind of wonder, like, Little Orphan Annie is like big at the time and things like that. But like Little Orphan Annie's like an adorable little curly-headed, red-haired girl.
But
the whole concept is definitely about guilt tripping you into buying this. Like, buy this doll before it. We have to send her to the farm.
Can you imagine being a little girl? It's Christmas Day, 1965.
Oh God!
And you're like, well, honey, I think that there's one more gift under the tree for you, since you've been such a good little girl all year and not spoken about at supper time, and you've given Daddy his slippers every day after work. And the little girl goes and opens this box and is just like, what the ever-loving fuck? And now, like, out of pure guilt, she must like have this doll sitting in a prominent spot, like in her room, watching over her as she sleeps.
I'm just picturing. I don't know if you guys remember. The audience probably does. that scene in Nightmare Before Christmas where it's like, what did Santa bring you or whatever, and he's just kind of looking and then just like shows it up and then it's that doll.
I don't know if what Shannon showed everybody for Little Miss No Name, like if you can see it, but on the box underneath her name, which is Little Miss No Name, it literally says the doll with the tear. Like that's their selling point. They're like what's the one thing?
Catchphrase.
Yeah, what's the one thing about this doll that everybody's gonna know? God damn it, it's a doll with a tear. Why do we need anything else?
Not the soulless eyes that we stuck in it.
They're all
they're all
just sitting in this room that's so filled with cigarette smoke.
Oh,
that,
Cigar.
like cigar
Show us what you got, honey.
Yeah.
You want to be a star, don't you?
They're all high on fucking like actual opium, like that they got from moving along. Okay, so we have the paranormal enthusiasts. And the one comment I wanted to make on what you mentioned, Shannon, paranormal enthusiasts that buy these things, it's almost to me seems like if I can't go out and find a ghost, I'm gonna bring the ghost to me.
Yeah.
It's like having DoorDash bring you a ghost, so you don't have to go out looking or whatever.
I want the commodity.
Well, in a day and age too, like now, not so much as it was obviously in the past, but nowadays, like just think about the level of monetization that you can get off of purchasing an item like this, throwing it up on TikTok, Instagram, wherever. I'm like, I bought this creepy doll, part 1. And then all of a sudden, got 10, 20 parts of like just embellishing what's happening, anything and everything about the doll. And I mean, it's you have more reason to do it now, I feel like, than ever before. So whether it be collector or paranormal enthusiast or whoever it might be, there's just so many options and alleyways you can do to make money off of this shit. So.
Well, and that's another category of people that are purchasing it entirely separately from the paranormal enthusiasts or just the plain collectors are content creators online that we've been talking about already. These people that need content, and this is one way to get that. And really, especially if that is what your channel is geared towards.
Right.
If you're a BT goth girlfriend, and you're much more likely to bring on.
Don't get me started.
I'll be right back.
Easy, calm down.
All right, pants are off. Who else, Shannon? What other people are purchasing these things?
I'm gonna be a dick.
All right. He's gonna be a dick,
guys.
Spoiler
alert.
I didn't mention this earlier, but it's a lot of weirdos too. I've seen that are. I mean, just. Weird. Not only looking but behaving, and it's just like,
hey,
comes with the territory.
If it wasn't for weirdos, there would not be a single person watching this video. So thanks, weirdos. We really appreciate
thank you, weirdos.
Because we're all fucking weirdos too.
We're all weirdos ourselves.
That's so true.
But still,
are we Miss No Name doll weird or?
I mean, conceptually, yes. It's weird as fuck.
Are we guilting you into watching this show?
Podcast, the guys with the tear.
Yeah, the guys with the tear.
If we would have looked that Little Miss No Name up on eBay, not gonna lie, if it wasn't minimum $300 to purchase,
Tell them what it capped out at.
About $1,300 for,
I mean,
for
if it
good
was
condition.
feasible, there's a part of me that like
I'd buy one.
Fucking make one of those
just to have it sitting on the mantle.
Yeah, and for the same reason we discussed
It's like
earlier,
a little,
talking piece.
it's a little gargoyle that keeps like unwanted guests out because they see that and they're like,
wait, what the fuck is that, man? What's up with the doll in the kitchen?
Well, this is Little Miss No Name. See, it's the doll with a tear.
There's a whole backstory.
Brad pulls a cigar out.
Have a seat. I'll tell you about
Why are
it.
you wearing a pinstripe suit? All right. Okay, so let's put our skeptic hats to the side. This is my skeptic hat. Actually, I'm going to put it back on because I'm going bald.
My hair just doesn't look great.
Yeah, look at this.
Well.
Look at this. Shit. Here.
Let's take a look.
You see that, God? You see this? What the hell?
You remind me of Marv from when he gets burned at
Oh,
the
yeah.
top.
Nice. Hey, Daniel Stern, you can compare me to him all day. He's a genius. So, okay, let's put our skeptics aside. We already did that bit. Say you purchase a doll. Whether it's haunted or not, it's being marketed to you as haunted. What can go wrong? Let's pretend you get an actual haunted doll.
Let me correct that. It was Harry, not Marv. My mistake. Don't rake us over the coals in the comments.
You're already cooked.
I'm cooked.
No, Marv is Daniel Stern.
No, it was Harry that got burnt
Oh
at the
yeah.
top of his
Okay,
head.
that got burnt on top of yes. Yeah.
All right, now you can't say a thing
Yeah.
in the comments because we corrected on the fly.
Yeah.
Still going to.
They're still gonna absolutely. They're gonna post a YouTube
Without a
video
doubt.
time stamped at the scene
Without a
in the
doubt.
movie where
This
the
guy didn't
blowtorch
even know
is-
the characters of Home Alone.
And
Here's
you
the
know why?
timestamp.
Because they stopped the video as soon as you made that. As soon as I made that mistake,
Oh,
they
yeah.
stopped the video. They're like, "Well,
Actually-
I'm done. Pause."
Yeah, they got up, walked away, had to like have.
They have their fingerless gloves on.
Yep.
For their carpal tunnel. All right.
Leslie, don't kill us in the comments.
Yeah, thanks, weirdos. But seriously, weirdos, thank you. Internet trolls, go fuck yourselves. What can go wrong? What can happen to you potentially if you do order one of these dolls?
Well, the mental strain of I just spent all this money on this
You'll be making so much money.
That.
with your sticky buddy.
Welcome to the Black Crypt, where we quote other shows.
You don't get our references.
Fuck you. But that's a joke, Shannon. But I guarantee you that's part of the reason that eBay had to put for entertainment purposes
Buyer's
only,
remorse.
because your
Yeah.
husband or your wife comes home after they spent $350 on a haunted doll,
Right.
and you're like, well, great, we won't buy groceries this week.
Yeah, thanks, honey.
Yeah, thanks, honey. It wasn't even Little Miss No Name quality.
Right.
Right.
No, you know, the doll with the tear, right?
No, you'll see. You'll see why I got Georgie.
But I think you're right. I think it can take, whether it's haunted or not actually haunted, I think it can take a mental toll on you.
I'm sure. I mean, especially if you have a significant other who is purchasing these things at an alarming rate with money that you don't have.
We've gone from the couple that purchased one and the spouse went to an alarming rate.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what
my
I'm going to
third
do with
doll
all
of the
these
month.
haunted dolls.
How are there not haunted Funko Pops at this point?
I'm sure they're out there. Look on eBay. I guarantee.
on.
Haunted Funko Pop doll. Guarantee it's out there.
Look up haunted. Never mind. I'm not going to say that one. But,
All right, moving along.
yeah. So,
Anyways, what are the other risks involved?
I think I mentioned earlier the placebo effect. If someone hands you something and said this is haunted, and you are a person who is susceptible to beliefs or already has beliefs like that, you might lose sleep over it. You might attribute anything bad happening in your life
Right.
to this haunted doll.
Right.
That you get a flat tire on to work the next day. That's the haunted doll. You get
Right.
into it. Your mom gets into a car accident. Whatever it is.
I mean, a lot of people will blame stuff like that. I know that one of the big one was there's some castle in Ireland or something like that people have taken bricks or stones or something from, and they have sent them back. Mm-hmm. And
Well,
we're
I
like,
mean,
I'm so
isn't
sorry
that
for
a part
taking this.
Of the, like Robert the Doll thing too, where like people would take pictures of
Oh,
it
without
without
asking.
permission,
Yes.
and then all of these things would happen to them after they leave, and this bad luck that would be attributed to it. To the point
Dude,
where
that's
they
just
have
the
to
American life.
Write in letters to Robert to apologize for taking a picture without your permission.
Also, how do you get the permission? Hey, Robert, is it okay if I take
He's
your
just like-
picture? And then you're just like, okay, I guess that's.
I guess I asked, so it's okay, right?
No,
Right?
I don't.
Right?
I don't know if the audience can hear this, but they're like, Robert, can I take this picture? And it's just like,
No. Can I have something to eat?
freak.
No.
That was a yes. You've seen it. It's a yes.
We've already mentioned, I think, one of the other negative impacts of purchasing haunted dolls online, and that's just simply the lie or the deception that the seller is giving you. They know they don't have a haunted doll.
Haunted can.
You can find that on our Patreon and our store. The Haunted Can.
$1,300.
For this.
Yes.
$1,300.
Brad's
Right now.
lips touched
That's the
that.
bad
It
buy
has
now
my
price.
DNA on it, and with that $1,300, you get full permission to clone me.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't there a Black Mirror episode on that? Cloning?
Restrict my clone's diet, I get fat real easy.
Make sure that's in the description,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, you'll want it to be a bit thinner. So you just have the deception of it. You're paying money for something that is not what the buyer is telling you that it is, and obviously these things aren't $10 or $15 a lot of times.
Right.
Sometimes they're several $100s. But hang on, before we move on to kind of to our final thoughts and things like that, there is always the possibility that you actually purchase a real haunted doll, right?
Yeah.
Then
And
what are you gonna do?
So then the negative impacts could be clear,
Right.
right? You could have ill health. You could have misfortunes come upon you. You can unknowingly, I'm just going to use the word infect other members of your household, people that come into your home, totally against their will. And maybe I'm a little crazy here, but does it always seem like haunted dolls come with very specific instructions, like fucking gremlins,
Absolutely.
or
Like
something?
gremlins.
It's like we're
Do
talking
not
about,
do this.
We're talking about Robert the doll. Like you have to have permission to get Robert. It's like it's like a writer we were
is.
joking about earlier for
is.
like a band coming to perform at your venue or
is.
something.
Like this doll specifically needs this. He needs daylight from this time to this time. Do not ask these specific questions. If you do, like, beware. Viewer, beware. You're in for a scare.
And if you need that much hassle in your life, just buy a fucking chinchilla or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or one of
exactly.
those what bearded chameleons or something, like
Oh,
just
God.
die if they're slightly stressed or something. That's too much for me.
Yeah.
Choose
All right. So let's kind of move on to our quote unquote final thoughts on this and everything. I think that we've kind of played the skeptics angle quite a bit. So I'm going to ask you guys one more time the same question I asked you at the beginning of the series. Do you believe that there exists such a thing in real life as a haunted doll?
I think I do in a sense. And I know that's not really a great answer because there's not like really definitive, but I do think that there's things tied to objects and it could be a doll. I think in a certain circumstance where like, let's say for instance, a child dies in a traumatic way, that was their item that they were constantly taking with them, carrying with them, very attached to, and then in the afterlife, whatever you want to call it, that is the item that they seek out because they know it and it's familiar. And I feel like those type of emotions and things can get wrapped up into an object. Now, whether that be a doll, whether that be, whatever it is under those circumstances, that's where my beliefs kind of live and die. And obviously that's super far-fetched and 1 out of 100 type of scenario, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's just the small part of me that's still
An idiot.
like the Disneyland thing. Or Santa Claus thing. I still believe. Like I don't know what to call it, but that's where my beliefs kind of live and die. So
Mine is yes, but very few. There have to be, because I'm more of a definitive proof guy. Even when we went to Waverly, I was hoping it's like that we would see something that it's like, hey, yeah, there is definitive proof, no matter how small, of something, but not like orb sort of stuff. So I would wager that yes, there are objects, dolls, things like that out there that are haunted. There is bad energy with them, but they're not as numerous as you think.
Yeah. I think honestly for me, I don't really have anything to add to what you guys said because I kind of agree with both of you. But just to kind of piggyback Shannon, I think that's true for realistically almost all paranormal activity or supernatural activity. I believe in it. Yeah. I think that it does happen because I have experienced some things in my life that I cannot explain through any normal or natural means.
Right.
And so I think that there is something out there exists, but I think that the genuine cases, just like the genuine haunted dolls, are so few and far between that no one or their cousin has probably ever actually encountered a haunted doll, unless it may be Robert the doll or maybe Annabelle. Annabelle I put far less credence into just because it's tied to Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think they're such shysters, and I think that the whole Annabelle thing is horseshit. But Robert has a very compelling story behind it.
It does. Out of all the dolls, I feel like that's the one that sticks out the most to me, just strictly because of the backstory and everything tied to it, and things like that. And I feel like also like the cases that it might actually be true aren't publicized, aren't out into the public for everybody's viewing pleasure. And when they are, they're so sensationalized or taken and skewed to the point where, I mean, like if you any of like the Conjuring movies, like where the story originated from, and then you go back and you listen to the interviews of the people experiencing it firsthand are like, yeah, the version that was on screen that you watched was absolutely nothing like what actually happened or what I experienced as a kid. It's so different, and I feel like that also applies to this same situation, to where there might be a case out there, or there might be an item out there that really does have this going on, but it's not out for the open, like for everybody to see. And if it is, it's so skewed to the point that whoever took it and ran with it, it's not even anywhere close to what actually happened anymore. So, because there's money to be made. And when there's money to be made, we gotta, Hollywood this shit up and make it grandiose, and make it really embellished in that way.
But plus, let's be honest. If a regular person who did just accidentally stumble across a haunted doll, and they bring it into their home and weird shit starts happening, and they truly believe that it's a haunted doll, that thing is going to end up in the trash or the fire pit.
Right. They're not like going online like, hey, look at this. Like, it's honestly like, I this is kind of like a separate thing entirely, but like when weird things happen, or say something happens in your house where you hear footsteps or an item falls, the first thing you do is not going to be pick up your phone and start recording. I'm going to get up and like, what the fuck was that? Like, my first instinct is not to get out my phone and start recording this event that might transpire or might not transpire. Like, I'm going to like either get a gun or just get up and like, what the fuck was that noise? Like, your first instinct shouldn't be, I need to film this.
I'm going to push back just a little bit. We are what people would refer to as elder millennials, right? We're kind of like the first round of millennial.
Yeah.
We have an entire generation of people whose first reaction is to pick up their phone and start
No,
recording.
you're not wrong
Well,
there.
in public more so.
Yeah. And especially if your job is to have an online media or a social media presence, you're always going to be picking up your phone if you don't already have it in your hand. So, well, I think let's wrap this up kind of in a nice little nutshell. I think that it doesn't matter, whether you are a skeptic or whether you are a true believer, a spiritualist, or you just like spooky stuff in general. Haunted dolls really aren't just about the ghosts, right? Haunted dolls are about the stories that we tell and the fears that feeds, and that truly is what it's all about. So we can sit here all day and poo-poo on haunted dolls or haunted objects in general, but realistically it's about the story. And I think that whether you're a collector, whether you're just a spooky fanatic and you do purchase a haunted doll from eBay, that's what it's about. It's about the story. And if it is worth it to you to spend that money, and you don't genuinely care whether it's haunted or not, I say do it.
Right
if you got the money to blow, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah. I mean, who am I to say, or any of us to say, how or what you do with your money, or anything like that? Or
go ahead and sign up for the Black Crypt Podcast Patreon account. It's no, we don't.
Of money,
we don't have one.
What you do with your money?
Yeah, we don't have one. So yeah, maybe someday. What
is that noise?
What is that noise?
More haunted things.
So let's do this to end. If you have purchased ever in the past a haunted doll from online, you have had one passed down to you from your family or a rich uncle who passed away under mysterious circumstances, or someone or have had any sort of experience, even if you've just gone to Key West and seen Robert the haunted doll, let us know. Put it down in the comments or drop us an email or a message or something. Let us know what your experience is.
I'd love to hear it.
We would love to hear it. And honestly, if you're okay with it, let us know and we'll share it on a future episode as well. So at the end of the day, are you buying a doll?
I would buy a doll.
Or is the doll buying you?
Wow, we just took a sharp right turn. I wasn't ready for it. Shit.
Oh. Well, hey, everybody, this has been Whispers in Porcelain. Subscribe, share, and remember.
Ring that bell?
No.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
Smash it.
I'm new to the YouTube game, y'all. I usually just use it to watch Lord of the Ring lore videos for like 4 hours when I'm wasted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But Shannon, wouldn't you agree that some packages are just better left unopened.
I think so.
Oh my god.